The US-Israeli strike on Iran has dramatically shifted the strategic landscape in the Middle East. The operation reportedly killed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei and other senior officials, weakening Tehran's regional networks and altering the balance of power. With Iran's position deteriorating, attention is now turning to who will fill the vacuum and whether Israel's strategic focus could move toward Turkey, with Syria as the primary arena.
I want to be very clear. Turkey and Qatar have gained influence in Syria, are seeking influence elsewhere and everywhere throughout the region. And from here, I warn, Turkey is the new Iran.
Turkey has moved quickly to position itself as a leading external influence in post-war Syria, supporting the new government and advancing bilateral agreements with Damascus. Turkey still retains a number of military bases in Syria, working closely with the transitional authorities and giving Ankara a growing footprint near Israel's northern frontier.
Any Turkish-backed moves in southern Syria would be considered a red line for Israel, for example. But Turkey probably knows that it doesn't. That not doing that would mean that Israel will not necessarily intervene in Syria. So there's a understanding. There might not be a friendship, there might not be a deal, but there's some kind of a tentative US brokered understanding that more or less divides Syria between two very, very divergent and indeed rival parties, Israel and Turkey. Whether that can and will last is another question.
Israeli officials have openly warned that any shift in foreign force deployments in Syria, particularly expanded Turkish military presence, would cross a red line. In April 2025, Israeli airstrikes targeted Syrian air bases that Turkey had reportedly assessed for potential deployment. Unlike Iran, Turkey is a NATO member with deep political and economic ties to the West, making any potential confrontation far more complex. Ankara publicly denies seeking escalation, stating its role in Syria is aimed at stability and respect for Syrian sovereignty. Former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant described Iran's weakening as a strategic turning point, arguing that Syria will define the next phase of regional competition. The evolving Israel-Turkey dynamic suggests that while direct conflict is not inevitable, Syria has become the central arena where influence will be tested, shaping the next chapter of Middle Eastern geopolitics.